I'm assuming you're here to see if the 7Artisans Autofocus F1.8 Light Series 50mm lens is the right lens for you. And I'm here to say that at $125, the quality of the lens is quite good. The quality of the images is quite good. There are a couple of quirks, and we'll get into that in a second. Now, one thing I should mention is that 7Artisans did send me this lens for review, but they do not get any say in this video. My thoughts are my own, and I just wanted to share that. So with that out of the way, let's get into it. So my initial impression of the lens when I first got it out of the box was that it is incredibly light. And sometimes when a lens is incredibly light, you worry a little bit that it's plasticky. But from what I can tell, it feels like an all metal build. This does not feel like plastic to me. And it comes with a lens hood, and it comes with back cap and a lens cap. Now I got it in the silver finish, which unfortunately does not match my Fujifilm X-E5's silver finish. And I understand that because this is not specifically designed for the Fujifilm X-E5. It is designed for APS-C cameras like Nikon, Sony, and Fujifilm. Now, one of the reasons I came back to Fujifilm with the X-E5 was I wanted to keep my kit small. I want to keep everything as compact as possible. I got the X-E5 with the kit lens 23mm F2.8. Then I was able to try the Artisans 17mm F1.8. I purchased a Voigtlander 35mm F2, which is also a macro lens. And now I'm testing out this 7Artisans 50mm F1.8 autofocus lens. So even though this is a bit larger than those other lenses, it's not as light as the 23mm pancake that came with the X-E5 kit, but it is lighter than the 35mm Voigtlander lens. This is somewhere between those two lenses. So it is not overly heavy, but it is not super, super light either. When I got this out of the box, the first thing I noticed was the autofocus motor was very loud. And I quickly went to their website and checked to see if there was a firmware update, and there was. So I downloaded their firmware and I transferred it over to the lens using this USB connector on the back of the lens. This update did fix the autofocus noise a little bit, but there's still definitely autofocus noise. Hey, so quick update. I'm editing this video, I'm putting it all together, and I went to show you that the autofocus is making noise, and now it isn't. I'm focusing on things far away and close. This is truly wild. It was making a ton of noise for the first week I had it, but it appears to be completely silent now. I am using autofocus. I am literally focusing on everything around this room right now. There is no noise at all. So this is a little happy accident, because I was going to list this as a negative and say that you shouldn't use this for video. But this is completely silent. I mean, it is definitely focusing. So great. It's not a negative. There is no autofocus noise. But my first test with this lens was actually a meetup with the photography community from Glass. It was like a local Colorado chapter. It was really great. It was great to actually meet people in person. But the reason that was such a good test for this lens is, what are you getting a 50mm on your Fujifilm for? And I would say that portrait photography at 50mm f1.8 is a perfect reason to have this. And I thought this did a fantastic job. I got some very candid photos of people talking and laughing and thinking. I just felt like those portraits were really great. Now, we happened to be sitting at a restaurant that had a lot of reds and blues, and so I switched over to my favorite Fujifilm film simulation, which is Classic Neg, and I love the results of these photos. One of the things that I like to test out when I'm using lenses from third parties is, do they mess with my Fujifilm look that I love so much? There's a reason I like Fujifilm images and I like Fujifilm colors. I feel like this held true to the Classic Neg look. This did not shift any of the colors in a bad way. If anything, I felt like the colors really popped using this 50mm lens in that environment with so many reds and blues. Something else I noticed when doing some night shots was I was walking around the neighborhood, and people in the neighborhood were shooting off fireworks for the 4th of July. I don't know how you feel about that, but we're in a drought. I felt like a little irresponsible, but hey, they were doing it, and I wanted to test this at night. So we walked around, and I took some photos at night, and I did notice that even at f1.8, it did have some struggles with being a little slow. Hold on a second. I'm going to sneeze. Always sneeze in the middle of a video. Now, I have noticed that it does feel a little sluggish to autofocus, but the truth of the matter is my X-E5 is probably the slowest Fujifilm camera I've ever had. So I'm not sure if that's 7Artisans lens issue or if that's an issue with Fujifilm's X-E5 at 50mm. This is sluggish, but I don't know who to blame in that. But it is slow on my X-E5. Now, saying those things, I feel like I've gotten some great photos with this lens. So it's not that it's keeping me from doing anything. I'm just trying to be thorough in my review for you on how this lens has performed for me. I really do like having a 50mm f1.8. That really gives me a lot of separation. And that's kind of the look you're looking for when you go with something like 50mm. And of course, on an APS-C body, 50mm is more like 75mm, which is perfect for portrait photography or a different vantage point in street photography. So I really do like having this. I think it is well worth $125. The complaints that I had or the issues that I ran into are not deal breakers by any means. I want to thank 7Artisans for sending me this lens to test out. I'm pretty happy with the results. I think I can easily recommend it. Speaking of recommending it, I do have some affiliate links below if you're interested in purchasing one for yourself and you want to support the channel. That is a way you can do that. But if you don't want to spend a dime, another way you could support the channel is just by giving me a thumbs up. That always helps the algorithm. I think that's it for my 7Artisans 50mm f1.8 review. And as always, I thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.